Hi there. Today I want to talk about creating a vision for your life, and I want to share how actually my big dream, having my big dream, was actually sabotaging me. It was making me feel trapped, and it was kind of tying my hands behind my back. And I want to share why and how, and maybe someone else. I'm not the only one doing this. I am sure someone else is doing this. So for years, I have had the dream of living on the beach. And I am just picturing a small, modest home, but it's modern and it's cool and it has all these windows. And I am like right on the water, right, very close to the water. And originally, this beach house was in California, and I was just going to have tons of money, and I was going to make it happen. And that was my dream, and that was my goal. And I'm like law of attractioning it, and I'm visualizing it, and I'm doing all of this. And then I start to think, okay, I'm 51. My kids are getting older. They're getting ready to leave within the next couple of years. How close am I to making this happen? When am I going to be on the beach? And I started to really look at, even if I put my head down right now, worked the next 15 years, and did this, and I do all these calculations. And then I thought, well, maybe instead of California, maybe I can afford Florida. And then I started looking at the weather in Florida during the summer, and I put all these places that I dream of. I put all these places that I dream of going on my weather app. So when you look at your weather, like where you are, you I can put in a bunch of different locations. So right now in my weather app, I have LA. I have where my family lives. I have Pensacola, Florida. I have Santa Cruz, California, and Vancouver. Vancouver is out, let me just say, from that weather. But anyway, I put the places that I'm dreaming of being and dreaming of living in, so I can like check the weather and live kind of vicariously through these places, and it inspires me and it makes me happy. So if my dream is Beach House, California, it takes a whole lot to accomplish that. A whole lot, right? And the vision that I had for my life maybe made it possible. I was thinking big. I was not limiting myself. I was doing all the visualization, doing all the self-actualization work to be all I can be, and to be inspired, and to be in action, moving forward for this dream. And then I really started like kind of doing some math and really looking at it. And then I started to get discouraged. And then I thought, I'm going to spend the next 15 years with my head down, and I'll do it when I retire. And I thought, number one, I thought, well, that sucks, because we know, honestly, if you've done as much work as I do, honestly, at some point, that this now moment is all there is. This now moment is all there is. And a lot of times, how we're feeling about this now moment is a product of looking back and how we're seeing our past, maybe being depressed, or looking ahead, being anxious, being nervous, being whatever. We're looking back, we're looking ahead, but we're not present right now. And I thought, really, I'm going to give 15 years of this is not really what I want, so that I can maybe then have it. Then a couple of people close to me had health concerns and issues came up. And I'm starting to really look at tomorrow is not promised. Okay? Tomorrow may or may not come. Today is the present. Today's the gift, right? And so I was still stuck because I had this big vision, and they tell us, dream big. And if you're inspired, then it's for a reason, and go with it and follow it. And I did it for years. For years I did. And it seemed further away than ever. It seemed further away than ever. And I was really discouraged. And I started thinking about uh, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. It's a famous quote from Arthur Ashe, right? The American tennis player. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And I thought, okay, when I picture this house in California on the beach, what is it symbolizing for me? What am I going to feel once I'm there? What I'm going to feel is this great combination for me of these two things called financial security and freedom. That beach house to me represented safety and security, and yet freedom to do what I want when I want, to be in a place that is beautiful and where I can be out in nature all the time. I live in Kansas, so the summer is hot and humid, and the winter is very cold and very snowy, and it's windy here because it's very flat. So it's windy here. The weather changes abruptly. We have very high highs and very low lows. And I've lived in the Midwest my whole life. And I just dream of having that, being able to walk out the front door, do what I want to do, 70 degrees, 80 degrees, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, but not 5 below 0 and not 100 and super humid, right? So what did I really want with the beach house? What was that really about? And it really is about financial security, and it's about freedom, okay? So then the question is, then I went through this process of, okay, what am I doing? That's what I really want. So I thought about more ways I could have that. More ways I can have that right now. So what am I doing with my money right now? What am I doing with my finances right now? What am I doing to make myself financially secure and to have those feelings of financial security right now? And I started to look at the money that I was spending and put together a spending plan, all in a very inspired way, not in a limited way of, oh, I have to do this or I should do this, or it wasn't that. It was, how am I treating my money so that the universe, and so that I feel like I deserve more money. I handle this really well. And the universe is like, yeah, you're right. Let's bring it in. Whatever that kind of combination is, right? So I'm like, what am I doing with the money I have now? And I did a lot of work on it, and what do I believe about financial security? What does it really take? And another thing I discovered is, and then the other question was, what am I doing with my freedom right now? I have freedom as far as the time that I do have, that I'm not at my job or in some obligation. Then I looked at the obligations that I had and like, what's really feeding my soul, what's not. Strip out anything that isn't working, and then look at, how am I using the time that I have, because that's really freedom, is the time to do what we want, what we choose, right? So I started stripping out more and more of the stuff that was obligatory or that wasn't feeding me. I wasn't getting a lot out of it. And I suddenly had all this time open up. In 2020, we all know what's happening in the world right now. And so that opens up more time, because I love going out with friends. I love going to movies. I can't do almost any of that. We do a little bit on Zoom, but it's very limited. That left me with a lot of time. Also, I was driving to an office, and now I'm working from home. That took up at least 2 hours a day of prep time and drive time and everything that I'm not using now. I have all this time. How am I using it? So if my big vision for my life and my goal is freedom and financial security, what am I doing right now to utilize the financial security and the freedom and to create more financial security and freedom? And I started feeling better. Okay, then I discovered Cheap RV Living and Bob Wells. And I want to tell you that my whole life opened up when I started thinking about the idea of using a minivan as a camper and being able to travel and camp. And it didn't come to me all in one moment. It was this whole hierarchy of things. What can I do with the time I have now? Well, I love being in nature. I need to get a tent. I have never been a very outdoorsy person. I have never camped. I have never been a big hiker or been a big explorer. But literally within this last year, I have started camping, I have started hiking, and I've started kayaking. And I love them all, and they really feed my soul. I never would have even discovered it if I had all my old patterns and all my old things that were taking my time that I was continuing to do to kind of distract myself. But due to what we're all going through right now, I have this time, and it has been freed up from doing other things. So I've just been able to discover this. And also, seeing how being in nature, how I love it. So this is a whole progression. And then I discovered I hate tent camping. I love the being outdoors. I love the camaraderie. I love the campfire. I love the hikes during the day. I love discovering new little areas, even if they are in Kansas. I have not enjoyed Kansas for a very long time. I thought it's a good place to raise a family. We have good education system. We have, we have the Chiefs, we have the Royals, we have some big city stuff. We have the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. We have world-class barbecue. We do have some things, and it's a good place to raise a family. It's a good, decent cost of living and everything, okay, Kansas City. But as far as someplace you'd want to live, as far as beauty, as far as weather, no, this is not the place you would choose. But I have discovered all of these little places within an hour or 2 hours of my home, and 4 hours and 5 hours as I start to explore more, where I can get all that. But I didn't like camping in a tent. I don't like setting it up. I don't like sleeping on the floor. I didn't like, it was, so then I found Bob Wells and Cheap RV Living. And here's the thing. So often when we are thinking of visualizing a big dream and everything, it's glossy. It's like somebody's Instagram life, right? We visualize this life that's like somebody's Instagram. It's like, it's gorgeous and it's all open and there's these big windows and there's a pool in the back and it's designer and it's minimalized and it's, got these big green plants and it's gorgeous and it's high end and it probably has a view of Manhattan out the back of the window or a view of the ocean or whatever. For me, it would be ocean. A lot of coaches I follow and stuff have these setups, these studios, these rooms in their home, these whatever that are just extraordinary. So we tend to have this vision of what we want life to be and what we want as our goals and our vision and this inspiration. Sometimes it's so glossy. Mine was so glossy. It was so perfect. It was so Instagram ready. And I'm just realizing I don't care about that stuff. That's not what is really important to me. If I could keep more money in the bank, live very, very modestly, and have that feeling of security that having a little bit of money in the bank gives me, that security, like if an emergency comes up, I can handle it. That feeling is irreplaceable. That is a must-have for me. I'm going to have that, if at all possible, right? And I also need that freedom. When I discovered Cheap RV Living, Bob Wells does these interviews where he will talk to people. A lot of them are living on Social Security. A lot of them are living on $600, $800, $1,000 a month, okay? And they might have some kind of security to back them up. Some don't, but a lot do. Some of them are beautiful builds, beautiful campers, things like that. But a lot of them are extreme. They seem so doable. And it's like, if that person can do that on that little money, it opened up my whole world. it opened up my whole world, because I realized I don't care about that building. What I want is that feeling of that beautiful weather, the sunshine, being with the ocean, having mountains, being able to travel, exploring different parts of the country, exploring different people and the way they live. That is what I want. And sorry. And the less I need, the more freedom I have. The less I need, the more freedom I have. So that's one thing as I get ready to release the kids into the world in the next couple of years, is a difference in going, what do I need to support 3 adults' needs versus what do I need to support just my needs? They aren't going to live in a van, but could I? I don't know, but maybe I could. Maybe I can for 3 months a year, and I can go somewhere warm and not have to deal with Kansas winter. Maybe I can have a small home base and travel here and there and still work, but have flexible work that I can do on the road or work for myself, better yet. So my whole world has opened up, and that big dream I had was really shackling me. It was making me feel so trapped, because I thought the only way I'm going to get that is to do all this stuff I don't want to do. And I worked for a long time on, no, I can just attract it. I can just be inspired, do the work that I love that's meaningful, and I'll get there. And it didn't happen. So then I viewed it as a failure, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It's all part of the journey. Every single failure, every single challenge, it's all part of the journey. I'm saying this for me. I'm saying this for you. Every single thing is part of it. And it comes together so beautifully. And I just want to thank everyone out there, everyone on YouTube who's every little piece of it, someone who's got 15,000 subscribers or something and is supporting themselves with a YouTube channel and a little Patreon and a few Amazon links, and they don't need very much. So they are supporting themselves and living this free life, and all of a sudden it seemed so doable. It seemed so reasonable. And even if the YouTube channel doesn't do anything, even if I have so many ideas now that my dream seems within reach, I have roadmaps and plans and ideas for earning income, for being more independent, for all of it. And it's all this rush of inspiration and this rush of possibility came from downsizing my dream more than expanding my dream. And it runs contrary to a lot of self-help and a lot of gurus and a lot of, life coaches standing by the private plane saying, oh, get clients who will pay you, $10, $20, $30,000 to live the life you live and be free. It's such a trap. For me, it was a trap. For anyone who can do it, great. God bless you. You're amazing. That's awesome. I'm not dishing anybody. I'm just saying I was not getting there, and it was devastating. It was so upsetting, and it was so what am I doing wrong, and all of that, and a major blow to confidence and to all of that. But it's all part of the journey, and it's all working fine, and it's all great. So the less we need, the more free we are. And it's a lot easier to have financial security and freedom when we really look at what is the dream, what do I really want, and what are my priorities, what does it feel like when I have that? And how can I get that free? How can I get those feelings now? What am I doing with the freedom? What am I doing with the financial security? Say your dream is travel. Well, what are you doing to travel now? Travel is one of my dreams too, but I thought, I thought my computer just, sorry. But I thought, where can I travel now? And I'm like, oh, I hate Kansas. I can't travel anywhere. I'm too far from an ocean. I'm just as far as anyone in this country is from an ocean. Like I have to go thousands of miles in any direction to get to an ocean. Feeling sorry for myself. And then I'm like, wow, I just discovered a lake that's 30 minutes away that is gorgeous, that I can go walk around, or I could camp there, or I could whatever. Sometimes scaling down that dream, just looking at this, these are a couple of things that are really helping me, right? The less I need, the more freedom I have. And start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. I love to travel, so I'm in Kansas, so I'm traveling an hour away. My big trip so far this year was Arkansas. It was a 4 hour drive, 4 to 5 hour drive. It was gorgeous, and I did kayaking and hiking, and it was amazing. And I was near the water, and I was out in nature. Anyway, my big dream was killing me. It was trapping me, and I scaled things down and now begin to see what is truly possible. And I'm so excited. And I want you to be too. So let's do this.